Today we're going to do one more video about the Wilson EDC X9S. I got a couple of updates there that I'll give you and answer a couple of questions that a few of you have asked along the way. But first off, I need to give a big shout out to Precision Holsters. In my last video I had mentioned that I had a Precision holster for that X9S and that it was too long. And because of that it was a little bit uncomfortable, and anyway. A few of you pointed out that they had sent me the holster for the regular EDC X9, not the S model, regardless of the fact of what I had ordered and what my order sheet said. They just sent the wrong one. So I contacted them, sent a photo out. Their customer service guy was fantastic, said, hey, no problem, just confirm your address, we'll just send you another one. No questions asked. No problem. So they sent me a new one. It showed up a couple days later, so real quick. It is indeed shorter. We'll just show you this. So it does have a sweat guard on it, but it's that 3/4 of an inch shorter that I had been complaining about. It definitely is more comfortable. It is a better holster than the other one for this gun. So one of my complaints with that holster is gone. I'm still not a huge fan of the dual clips, but regardless, now I have a good option that I'll use for a couple of... I'll try it out and see how it goes, and there's some instances where I think this is going to be appropriate. So again, big shout out to Precision Holsters. They did right. Customer service is fantastic. We all make mistakes. Can't fault them for that. They corrected it quickly and correctly, and that I think is the true mark of a good company. So give them a shot if you're looking at it. Onto the EDC X9S. I had made a comment before that this EDC X9S was as thin as a single stack 1911. Well, I got my calipers. Let's give it a try and find out. I've been saying this whole time this thing is super thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the grip on both of these right here and give you an idea of what it is, okay? So this one reads 1.19 inches. 1.109, sorry. So full size 1911. These are VZ grips that I have on there, but it's the same width as what you would have if you had a Magwell, which I've got. So let's take a look at this. It feels like this might be a little bit thinner, but should be close. Let's find out. So we'll just take a reading there at the widest part. 1.37. So these are wider. The single stack 1911 is wider at the grip, at the widest part of that grip, than that EDC X9S, which is a double stack. But as you can see, these come down significantly shorter. So if you had some thin grips, I bet you could get this down. So I'll just show you what I'm seeing here. So right here, we're at 1.145. And come to the wide part. Working left-handed is a little bit difficult for me. Alright, so that's going to read 1.317, it looks like. Okay. And here's that X9S, just so you can see it. So this one reads 1.1. I'm just going to call it 1.109. It's a little bit under that, but so hopefully you can read that. Out of curiosity, DVC Carry. So this is a double stack 2011, your standard 2011. What's that show? Make sure I'm still zeroed. Yep. Okay, across that grip, 127. 1.27, okay? So, this EDC X9S, when I had said it initially that it seemed like it was every bit as thin as a 1911 single stack, it's actually thinner. I will say you can probably make your single stack 1911 a little thinner with the thin grips. The profile of that grip, this is rectangular. It's rounded at the edges, but it's rectangular. Whereas this 1911 is more oval. You've got this oval shape here, okay? So obviously it's thinner at these ends, but it gets wide to fill your hand and then gets thin again. The EDC X9S does not have that oval shape. It's the same width all the way across, okay? Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about there. So that is pretty impressive just how thin that X9S is. So hopefully that clarifies that comment and answers that question for some of you. Next one that I wanted to do, there was a question regarding how this fits your hand. I wear like a size large glove. Just give you an idea of how big my hand is. Because that's kind of how this is going to matter, right? You got to see how big your hand is. This is not really scientific. 3.3 inches, okay? From here to here at the bone. So if you want to take that measurement and see how you compare, you'll see where you're at. All right, so I had made a comment previously with the with the flush mag that my pinky curls under just a little bit. So here's what I meant by that. So when I get a good grip on this, shooting hand is right here, I've got two solid fingers that grip well, and I've got just a little bit of space. So I can get just this little edge of my finger on that grip and it curls under just a little. This works for me. If your hands are a little bit smaller than mine, it's gonna work even better. If they're a little bit bigger, you're probably gonna have your little finger underneath here, which could work. It depends on what works for you, okay? But that's how this gun fits in my hand, and it fits well. When I'm shooting, I really do have it gripped like this. It curls under just a little, bring my other hand in, and I'm good to go. So even though this is a very small grip, small gun, small grip, and I've got just, I would say, average size hands, this works really well for me, okay? Now, with the extended mag, that whole issue is taken care of. It's like a full-size grip now, okay? Can really get in there. I had commented before that there's just a little bit of wobble, and I don't know how well that's going to show up. You can hear it back and forth and twist it a little, okay? So you feel it, but once you lock your grip in, it's not like it's moving around, okay? So I'd commented on it. I'm not really complaining about it. It's more just an observation. But again, with this extended mag, you can get a nice fuller grip on it. No problem. All right? So hopefully that answers that question. One other thing I did want to tell you guys about that I did with this X9S. Initially, this came with a fiber optic sight. I chose to swap that out. Wilson has a couple of options. So I switched this for, what is this? An Ameriglow sight, bought through Wilson. Let's see if that's going to show up. Let's see if I can get this to focus here. Okay, well, I have the big orange dot, and there's a tritium insert right in the middle, okay? I like this for a carry gun. I kind of like having that tritium dot. And the big orange dot really catches your eye. and in a defensive situation, I think this is going to be more useful because I might not have enough light for the tritium, or I'm sorry, for the fiber optic to be really bright. So I think this works well. It catches your eye, and with the serrated backside, there's no real distractions. It works well. I've tried this in like a dark room, not pitch black by any stretch, but you know, in that little twilight area where it's dark, but it's not really dark enough for the tritium to be really apparent, and you're in that little middle ground. It still works. It works better than the fiber optic in that type of an instance. So for now, this is what I'm running. Thought you guys might like to see that. I think that covers all the questions. I do have one complaint. So the only issue that I have with this gun, the EDC X9S, is I think the finish is a little bit weaker than some of the other options out there. I've been carrying this for every day for 2 months now, a little over that now, and I do have a little bit of wear. I expect wear. I'm not complaining about that. I don't care about that. It's going to get worn, but I have a little more wear than I would expect, especially when I compare it to my DVC Carry. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So up here, let's see if I can get a good focus, or if we're just going to be ridiculous. So you can see at the bottom right here of that rail, I've got some wear marks just from reholstering, and I have the same along these hard edges, okay? Not a big deal. Again, I'm going to get wear, I expect that. But I've got that type of holster wear, okay? So that's there. I take a look at my DVC Carry. I think I've mentioned I bought this gun used. I've carried this daily for longer than I did that EDC X9. I do have wear, but it's not quite as bad. And this obviously has a lot more use and a lot more reholstering than that Wilson. So I think this is a better finish. I think this is a DLC finish. This is a more durable finish than whatever Wilson is using. So just keep that in mind. This finish on the Wilson, it may wear faster than you expect, or faster than some of your other carry guns. But beyond that, I've had no issues with this. It's been a very good, reliable gun. I like it. Like I said on my initial video, I'd buy it again in a heartbeat. It's fantastic. It works well for me. So that's my update for the day. Wanted to make sure I answered some questions that you guys have given me, and also let you know kind of what I think about that gun now that I've used it. A legit gripe that I have. Again, don't take that as a massive bash. I mean, it's a finish. It's going to wear off. It's going to have to get refinished at some point. I'm not too worried about it. I expect it. I just thought it might be more similar in durability to the DLC. So take that for what it's worth. Anyway, hopefully some of you found that useful. We'll do it again another day. Take care.